Should I use this one or that? Come, come, whoever you are, lover of leaving, ours is no caravan of despair. Come, yet again come. Though we've broken our vows 1,000 times, 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 though we've broken vows 1,000 times, though we've broken our vows 1,000 times. Come, come, whoever you are, wanderer, worshiper, lover of leaving, ours is no caravan of despair. Come, yet again come. Shh. Come, come, whoever you are. Come, come, whoever you are. Ours is no caravan of despair. Ours is no caravan again. Though we've broken our vows, come, come, whoever you are. Ours is no caravan of leaving. Ours is no caravan of despair. Come, yet again come. Though we've broken our vows 1,000 times, we've broken our vows 1,000 times. Though we've broken our vows 1,000 times.
Good morning. Welcome. We're so glad you joined us at our Sunday morning service. I'm Linda Clark, and I'm a member of your Board of Trustees. We are glad you're here, whether you're present in the sanctuary or whether you're joining us online. It is so good to be together. We welcome you to church and invite you to get us to know us better before and after the service. As Unitarian Universalists, we hold that there are many paths to truth and meaning, and we support one another in our spiritual and religious journeys while holding ourselves in covenant with one another. Whoever you are, wherever you are in the world, you are welcome here. Well, we have a special announcement today, and Keith and Mary Beth are going to help me with it. There were bells on the hill, but I never heard them ringing.
No? Well, perhaps not until you heard about Auction 2024 musicals. You can find the auction information page in the top navigation on the church website, or find links in the weekly Connection newsletters. Visit the auction table in Creeves Hall between services for anything and everything you need to know. Donation forms, suggestions, ticket purchase for silent and live, all ready and waiting for you to realize there are birds in the sky and you can see them winging their way to fund donations and fabulous finds at Auction 2024 musicals.
Do you see why I asked them to do it? Now, if you're online, please greet each other with a chat, and if you're in the service, please turn to someone you don't know or didn't come with and greet them. Thank you.
I light our chalice for the UU shared value of pluralism. We celebrate that we are all sacred beings, diverse in culture, experience, and theology. We covenant to learn from one another in our free and responsible search for truth and meaning. We embrace our differences and commonalities with love, curiosity, and respect.
Welcome to this morning, this day, and this opportunity to be together in community, which is a time of joy, comfort, and sometimes challenges. This Unitarian Universalist congregation is a place where we come to learn more about being human. We're not here because we've figured out life's questions or because we think we've got it right. We come here to learn more about being human, about being in relationship together, how to listen, how to forgive, how to be vulnerable, and how to create trust and compassion in one another. My name is Kevin Mulqueeny. My pronouns are he and him, and in addition to singing baritone in the choir, I am the chair of the Committee on Shared Ministry. And on behalf of myself and the other committee members, I want to thank you for joining us this morning to explore what it means to be a community in covenant with one another. Let us move into worship, willing to be authentic with each other, honest within ourselves, and open to connection in all its forms. Now I ask you to please rise in body or spirit and join in singing hymn 323, Break Not the Circle.
Good morning. I'm Karen Peck, pronouns she, her. Please join me in reciting the Covenant of Right Relations as members of the DuPage Unitarian Universalist Church in an effort to support and sustain a flourishing community rooted in love. We express gratitude and kindness. We celebrate and mourn in community. We respect each other's diverse beliefs, identities, perspectives, and boundaries. We strive to deepen our relationships. We are authentic, honest, and allow ourselves to be vulnerable. We explore ideas and ask questions. We acknowledge our strengths and limitations. We seek to understand one another by deep listening and curiosity. We support and challenge each other and remain open-minded. We embrace discomfort in disagreement as a necessary path to growth. We call attention to actions that harm us and work to restore relationships. We apologize and make amends. We participate and offer our energy and passion generously. We aim to embody our Unitarian Universalist principles. We strive to be our full selves and to work for a more just and equitable society.
Our vision of beloved community is rooted in the relationships we have with each other, our world, and creation. Each week we share our joys and concerns. Today's flowers were given by Lindy Spreetsma in celebration of a musical auction this year. Let's sing with joy. And I have no other cares or joys to share today. So I'll just say, for all of those we hold in our hearts and in our minds, even when the cares of the world weigh on us. May we find joy in our connections with each other and in the pleasures that life holds. Let us care for one another and ourselves in all the ways we can. As we hold each other in our hearts and minds with all our joys and all our sorrows, whether spoken or unspoken, please join together with the choir in a moment of meditative song.
I'm gonna stand up here even though I want to sit down on the steps. Okay, my book is Sorry, Really Sorry by Joanna Kotler and illustrated by Harry Bliss from the New York Times. Ready, kiddos? Cow was in a nasty mood. Usually she was content to munch grass, rub up against fences, and play with her farm friends. But it had rained the night before, and this morning her hooves were deep in mud. That made her mad. When Duck came along, Cow kicked mud in her face. "Why did you do that?" asked Duck. "I felt like it," said Cow, "and I'm not sorry." Flapping furiously, Duck wiped mud from her beak. "Hi, Duck," said Frog. "You're all muddy. Want to swim with me?" Duck thought of how mean Cow had been. "No, you gross green glob." "Am not," said Frog. "Are too," said Duck. "Say you're sorry," said Frog. "Sorry," said Duck. Not sorry is what she meant, and Frog knew it. Frog was angry. "I might be green, but I'm no glob," Frog thought. Bird sang out her best song, hoping to cheer Frog up. Frog said, "Tweet, tweet, tweet, your tweets stink." "Why did you say that? Hey, bird," or "Hey, Frog." "I felt like it," said Frog. Bird's feelings were hurt. She thought her tweets were lovely. "Aren't you even sorry?" asked Bird. "Sorry," said Frog. But he wasn't sorry, not one little bit. Bird flew up into a tree. There was Goat, perched on a branch. "This is my branch," said Bird. "Get down." "But we always share this tree," said Goat. "Not anymore," said Bird, and she beat her wings until Goat tumbled to the ground. And she wasn't sorry, not at all. Goat ran as fast as he could. He wanted to get away from Bird. He ran so fast, he ran right into Pig. "Oh," said Pig. "I did that on purpose," said Goat, even though he hadn't. Why asked Pig. "I felt like it, and I'm not sorry," said Goat. Pig lay down in the farmyard and began to cry. Big, loud, honking snorts. "Aww." "What's wrong?" asked Dog. "Go away, I don't even like you," said Pig. Pig honked and snorted some more. Dog just sat there and let Pig cry for a little while. Dog said, "I know you like me. We eat lunch together every day." "That's true," sniffed Pig. "And sometimes you even share your favorite waffles," said Dog. "I do love waffles," said Pig. "Goat was mean to me, so I got mad." "Sorry," said Pig, and she meant it. "Okay," said Dog. Dog gave Pig a big, long lick. Pig felt better. So Pig found Goat and gave him a nuzzle. A nuzzle made Goat feel so good, he brought Bird a delicious snack, a worm sandwich. And Bird, who couldn't find Frog, left a box of flies with a note that said, "I love you, Frog." When Frog got Bird's note, he found Duck and went to swim in the pond with her. And there was Cow, who started it all. "Cow," said Duck, "want to play with me and Frog?" "Yes, I would," said Cow, walking into the pond. "Duck, I am sorry I kicked mud on you." And she was sorry, really, truly sorry. "Why'd you do that?" asked Duck. "I don't like muddy hooves," said Cow. "Better now?" asked Duck. "Better now," said Cow. And she was, until Horse was surrounded by flies.
Now let's sing to the children.
welcome to stay down here, but you can also go back if you want to. Giving of our treasure is how we reciprocate the many gifts that we are given by this community. Our contributions support the programs and operations of DuPage UU Church. Giving is also how we live our shared values in this world. Each month, we share our offering with an organization that is nominated by the congregation and selected by the special offering team. This month, we have the Alive Center of Naperville. It was nominated by DUC member Dean Reschke, who was also a founding member of Alive. Alive's mission is to be a teen-led, teen-driven center focused on empowering youth of today to become the impassioned, resilient leaders of tomorrow. As a nonprofit organization, they offer free drop-in hours after school and over the summer, as well as a myriad of programs, classes, and events designed to build confident and resilient teens. It is a place to belong and learn important life skills. Just to go off script, I've had some personal experience with Alive, and it is a wonderful organization. Not only have they helped the Naperville community, but they've also expanded to Hanover Park, Aurora, and they've also created a relationship with the B.R. Rial YMCA in DuPage County, which is near and dear to my heart. And if you're looking for the Alive Center in Naperville, it is next to a wonderful bakery near Naperville North called Dietta's. This morning's offering to support the work of DuPage Unitarian Universalist Church and the Alive Center of Naperville is given and received in a spirit of generosity and gratitude. This morning, it is my task to answer what is COSM and what do we do? But before I jump into answering that, I just wanted to reintroduce the who of COSM, or as Kevin said earlier today or yesterday, the COSM-knots. By now, you've heard from all four faces on the committee. Kevin Mulqueeny introduced himself as our chair. Karen Peck is in her third year. Tony Morgan is new to the committee, and I, Joe Wilmarth-Tyna, am also new to the committee. COSM, or the Committee on Shared Ministry, assists the minister, staff, board of trustees, and lay leaders of our community in promoting the well-being of the congregation's total ministry. Many of us have an outdated idea of ministry, or maybe we grew up with the notion that ministry is done by the minister. However, in this church at least, ministry is everything a congregation does to fulfill its mission, which is much bigger than a minister. So one of COSM's tasks is to observe this congregation's ministry. Specifically, we see what's going on week to week by taking a balcony view of happenings, patterns, concerns, joys, and just the everyday workings of the congregation. Personally, I perceive that Rev Mandy is thoroughly plugged in and immersed with the work of the church, but it is beneficial to have a team of folks who also takes the temperature of the congregation. And while this congregation is burning brightly and living out its ministry, COSM is sort of like the Greek god Hestia. We are tending the hearth. We're watching the fire of the congregation. COSM also monitors, educates, advises the minister, and also the lay committees of the church. We tend the fire to ensure that our church activities are aligned with our mission and how we have agreed to treat one another. When COSM sees something in that fire that is not aligned with our shared ministry, we act. And when we act, COSM will model mutual trust through our actions, and when needed, show the process of reconciliation and of healing. COSM also reads. Sounds like an advertisement. COSM reads. Rev Mandy, as many of you probably know, is a book nerd, and we are very glad that she is a book nerd. She leads COSM as well as the board and other groups through discussions of pertinent texts. COSM has read books on adaptive leadership and crucial conversations, tools for talking when the stakes are high. And throughout this year, COSM and the board will be reading and discussing Finding Our Way, Leadership for an Uncertain Time. To know that COSM is progressing, it's important to track our goals and also our outcomes. This year, COSM is focusing on creating SMARTY goals, just as many other committees are. SMARTY, if you don't know, is an acronym that stands for strategic, measurable, ambitious, realistic, time-bound, inclusive, and equitable, SMARTIE. COSM will be creating ways to make our consultation with and feedback from stakeholders clear and easy this year. And by stakeholders, I don't necessarily mean individual members of this congregation, but more advisory committees and pastoral ministry associates who are carrying out the work of the church. Our goal in this service is to make you familiar with us and our role. Sorry about that. Please join with me in body and in spirit to join in singing hymn 318, We Would Be One.
At the annual meeting of the congregation this past June, our congregation voted to adopt a revised version of the Covenant of Right Relations. How did we get there? The Committee on Shared Ministry was tasked with turning a 4-page read-aloud document into a 1-page one in a more straightforward, easy-to-read format while remaining true to the meaning and intent of the original document created by the church ministerial transition team. We held 3 meetings with the congregation, accepting feedback and contributions, and arrived at the now adopted policy. You can find it on the church website or ask one of us and we'll gladly share a copy with you. From the revision process, I learned that word placement and commas matter and that UUs have many opinions. Kidding aside, I learned how important it is to model and participate in each other's empowerment, and I also learned about mutual trust. In revising the Covenant of Right Relations, we practiced shared ministry. Together, we created a covenant to treat each other right. We outlined expectations for resolving conflicts or differences in respectful and meaningful ways. I learned how engaged and thoughtful this congregation is. I knew the value of collecting diverse opinions. We listened to where our ideas of what we believe to be important converged. This is at the root of the work of the Committee on Shared Ministry. We listen and learn from each other. We are grateful for you and accepted your input with the kindness in which it was offered. The revision process was an excellent model for respecting each other's diverse beliefs, identities, perspectives, and boundaries. Together, we explored ideas. You asked questions, we asked questions. That is shared ministry. Did the process deepen our relationships? It did. Being heard and being in conversation is a way we deepen community and our relationships with one another. I learned that our congregation is honest and authentic in our concerns and joys. I learned to sit with vulnerability that I felt as I usually hold the red pen. And it was okay. We developed a document based on our strengths and sat with our limitations. There were challenges and support, and in good relationships, both are necessary. Embracing discomfort in our world, church, conversations, and relationships is a path toward growth. It's not always easy, but we are interdependent. We exist with each other and are formed by each other. The act of revision modeled that dynamic. When disagreements were not resolved, we worked to attend to any harm and worked to restore any relationship that needed it. We thank you for coming to the task of revisiting our Covenant of Right Relations with your energy and your passionate generosity. Our church values mutual respect, listening, and reparation of harm, and we do a pretty good job of it. Relationships, as many of you know, are not one and done. They require constant monitoring and course corrections. When we communicate and behave with one another in a right relations manner, we become our whole selves. Revising our Covenant of Right Relations was a microcosmic, get it? Cosmic view of how we strive to be with one another. I look forward to our continued growth as we move into a more just and equitable future guided by love.
and what we are becoming is music for the world. I am music, music for this body. You are music, music to my ears. We are music, music for each other. And what we are becoming is music for the world. I am music, music for this body. You are music, you are music for my ears. We are music, music for each other. What we are becoming is music for the world. I am music, music for this body. You are music, music to my ears. We are music, music for each other. What we are becoming is music for the world.
I want to begin my reflection by posing a question to all of us gathered here this morning. Why do you come to church? Why leave the comforts of home on one of the all too few weekend days of the year to spend an hour or two or more in a quote-unquote house of worship? For some, there is a sense of tradition, a moral or familial obligation. But that's not us, you're thinking. Unitarian Universalists are a chosen faith. We are here because we decide to be. So why are we here? We may be here for spiritual exploration. We may be here to be challenged and learn something new, or so our children do. We may be here because of the music, the hymns, the choir, Vera's piano. We may be here for the coffee and conversation after service as much as the service itself. And here I think we start to approach the answer that so many of us gave during the Capitol campaign last year. What gets us out of our beds and into this place? What quest are we on, even more than a thirst for knowledge and hunger for spiritual growth? We come to DUUC in search of community. And my, what a flourishing community we have. One of shared mission, where all are welcome. As Linda said in the board greeting this morning, whoever you are, wherever you are welcome here. And this message of welcome and community is an appealing one. And we've been fortunate to see membership growth and increased enthusiasm at a time when the same cannot be said in all churches, UU or otherwise. But while certainly all are welcome into our community, this is not simply a community of convenience, of shared interest, without stakes. Joining our church is a commitment to support the mission and vision of our church and to, again returning to the words of the board greeting, hold ourselves in covenant with one another. Our membership in this community is a promise to, among other things, respect each other, be authentic and honest, engage in deep listening and curiosity, embrace discomfort, work to repair harm, and participate. Through the promises we make to one another, the bonds of community strengthen and grow. Last week's service discussed the concept of Ubuntu, or I am because we are. I'd like to extend that idea to the church as a whole. DuPage UU Church is because we are. Our church cannot exist without the work of the members and staff, and we receive from the community as much as we put into it. So where does COSM fit into all of this? In service of the ministry of our church, we are charged with maintaining right relations between members of our beloved community. This means we keep conflict resolution procedures to help process occasions when we feel someone has fallen out of covenant and is not keeping the promises we made to each other. In the story Tony shared in the Time to Gather, COSM is the dog. We're here to listen to you when you are hurting and help you process that hurt and direct you, even support you, as you bring your concern directly to the source of that conflict. If you noticed in that story, and how could you not, a small conflict snowballed into an avalanche of bad feelings, anger, and resentment when the individual animals couldn't stop to address the hurt done to them until tempers cooled and clearer heads prevailed, and the animals were able to recognize their mistakes and ask for forgiveness. How many times have we carried around hurt and resentment, leading us to unknowingly inflict the same on others? As a committee, we try to take the emotion and interpretation out of the story and get back to the facts of what happened. We ask questions to understand why this conflict arose and help take steps to repair the relationship. If you ever feel angry, frustrated, or hurt by someone in our community and you are unsure what to do or who to turn to, COSM is here to listen and to help. When we address conflict head-on, we can learn more about each other and deepen our connections to the community. Our covenant to one another provides us a guide to grow in community and come out of conflict stronger on the other side. Now I ask you, please rise, embody your spirit, and join in singing hymn number 347, Gather the Spirit.
This hour, our trials in this life.
end our gathering with gratitude for camaraderie, shared wisdom, goodwill, and support that we extend to each other within this community. May we continue to bless each other with these gifts, and may we reflect those blessings back out into the world as we minister to those around us.
Please join me in our closing words for extinguishing the chalice. We extinguish the light of this chalice, but not the light in our hearts. Until we meet again, may the warmth of our community carry you.